Well, welcome and well met. I'm Debbie. I'm the head brewer here at Torg.
And I'm Samantha. I am the brewer's assistant and also her daughter.
So we meet here on Tuesdays.
My brain has turned off.
And try to speak like we know a little bit about beer. And
try to speak in general because it's the evening or afternoon and we're sleepy.
But we're here, and tonight we're going to be sharing a little bit about the newest beer on tap, our 5 Bobs Porter. So our 5 Bobs is a porter. It's a medium-bodied porter, a little lighter than your heavier Baltic porters or imperial porters. It's got a 5.5 ABV. To me, it reminds me a lot of the steamed brown bread you would do in the cans. I don't know if anybody does that anymore.
I don't know if they still make those.
But that rich Boston brown bread, a lot of that in the beer, some raisin, maybe some chocolate or cocoa notes to it. It finishes relatively dry and has a little hint of vanilla at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So this beer, I incorporated a little bit of rye malt in the mash, so that helps kind of that bready, and maybe you might pick up a little spiciness with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then after it was fermented, I aged it on vanilla bean. So that's where you get the hint of vanilla at the end.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One thing that we thought might actually be kind of fun is to go through the questions for the name games. We recently had our name game, which we do for every new beer when the name comes out, so that everybody has a chance to guess what it is. And our illustrious brewmaster makes all of the questions, and there are some people who find the questions to be quite strange and are worded quite interestingly.
So when we launch a new brew, we come out with this name game. We usually let you know what kind of beer it is and a little bit about the beer, and then but we don't reveal too much, and because a lot of our names have to do with the style or the history or some story related to that. And then we go through a series of questions where we get you to guess what the name of this new beer is going to be.
So, the first question is, to be released a fortnight before Sir John's birthday, our porter is named in honor of a fellowship, though their tale and prize was not a ring of
Their toil.
Toil. I'm also wearing my glasses.
So I was really excited to find so this is a porter, so I wanted to tie the name to the beer style. The guild of porters who actually would carry the grain from the ships to the brewery, their guild was named the Fellowship Porters. And so we were releasing this beer just before Christmas. It was actually going to be 2 weeks before January 3rd, which is J.R.R. Tolkien's birthday. So that all just miraculously happened. Mm-hmm. And so I tied that first clue in with the Fellowship Porters. And I said that the name of the beer was going to be in relation to either the toil or their prize, because their toil and prize was not the Ring of Power, but was something else. Why was this beer named? This style got the name porter because it became the favorite of the porters in London.
Okay.
So
Primarily the drink.
that's what they drank, and so that's how it got its
Porter beer
name.
because the porters. Yeah, that makes sense. Perkins, White Bread, Truman, Parsons, and Thrale, 2 pints, and what be the fee to the bearer of ye measurable goods?
Immeasurable goods.
They call me Tim.
So for me, this clue was really straight out. It's asking you what be the fee to the bearer of immeasurable goods.
That's an easy question.
That's right. This is exactly what the beer needs. The name pertains to what these porters were paid. Now the list at the beginning, Whitbread, Parsons, Thrale, they were all major porter brewers in London during the 1800s, big porterhouse brewers. And of course then it's so 2 pints, and what did they pay? The bearers of measurable goods. So the porters who carried coal and grain, and these were called measurable goods. And so what were they paid? And kind of that 2 pints and what, because that really isn't fair. Because they would get paid their wage, and then the brewers kind of insisted that they go up and then
Have a drink.
and
Which would be paying back some of their wages.
use some of their wages. It worked into my question much better.
Yes, it does. And so at this point now, it's like, all right, we've got porter. The first question, my brain still, you explained it, and I still don't understand, but it's wonderful. We've got a porter. we have the fellowship, so it's all pointing towards porters. And then now we have porter, and we have more of a point towards the question. We have 2 pints in what?
Yeah, what was their fee?
And so now it is question number 4. Go through the B's in your brewer's dictionary of phrases and fables to peel back the layers of our
Remuneratively.
Thank you, entitled porter.
So you always got to throw a fun word out there, like remuneratively.
Remuneratively. My body was not ready to pronounce that.
So, the book I referred
I've been
to,
working all day.
the Brewers, what is it, phrases and fables?
Phrase and fables to peel back the layers.
So this reference books, this dictionary, is not really a brewer's, as in brewing beers dictionary. It's actually a gentleman named Brewer who put together this dictionary. It was first compiled in 1870, and since then, just like a Richard's Almanac,
Yeah.
it's been revised and added to. And it is just a list of colloquialisms, phrases, slang, historical and figurative persons.
Real life kind of useful.
Yeah, different things in there. You can go online, you can look this up, and you can actually get online, you can go through the book. Amazon sells the latest version.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But you can look it up, and if you go into the B's and thumb through, you will find the word Bob's in there. And Bob's is another word for shinny. Numeratively gives you a clue that we're looking for something that has to do with being paid or
Yeah. What is the payment for something?
Yeah. So, all those of you who don't know, that picture is actually for a picture or screenshot from Office Space. Is that the name of it?
Boy.
And they're the 2 Bobs, and they've been brought in to interview people for seeing who they're going to lay off at this company, and
they're quite intimidating and strange.
Yeah, and we're referred to as the 2 Bobs. I have to go interview with the Bobs, and then of course if you multiply 2 by 2.5, you get 5 Bobs.
Yes. So one thing that
At the name of our beer.
And there you go. So even if you didn't get it at 4, 5, hopefully it makes sense at that point. One thing that I definitely have learned is
Mother's very strange.
see, I said just learn.
Oh, just.
No, not always new. No, one thing about these that you definitely have to going forward into the name games is you have to treat it like phonics. You have to go in and take each sentence and try to take out the important parts and underline them, and then you Google them. So like going through each question and be like, all right, so trotty back, that's a proper noun. Make sure you Google that later, and then try to be like, all right, take it apart, where's the adjective and where's the predicate, and then you try to figure out where the question is. Or just never forget anything you learned in history class ever.
When I come up with names, I'm trying to find some connection to the style or the flavors in the beer, and then have a story with it.
Yes.
Stories are fun.
And usually when you're passionate about something, it doesn't just stop at the singular thing. It bleeds into all the other things, and those conglomerates come together whenever you want to do something. So it's a very exciting, fun, intricate way of doing it.
And it's fun to learn new things. And so definitely with the porter, I wanted to name it in honor to the porters, or have something to do with the origins of this beer style. And so that was a lot of fun to kind of come up with that.
Yeah, and look through things like that.
It is actually named after the average daily wage of the fellowship porters in the 1800s.
So yeah, no. Were there any other weird stories that stuck out to you while you were researching the?
Well, something I didn't know. So this beer it's probably one of the early commercial industrial brewed beers. And at the time, there were a couple of industrial inventions or new engineering knowledge that came about. One of those actually that was kind of a result of this was they figured out how to build bigger and bigger vats to hold this beer as it aged. Then they were still wooden and coopered. fermenting vats and storage vats. So these breweries kept outdoing themselves, building bigger and bigger and bigger vats.
Water silos practically.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were huge. So English brewers would brew with party guile beers, which meant they would use one mash and they would sparge it or rinse through it 3 times. They would create high alcohol beer with that first sparge of water through the grain. Then the second sparge would be a lower volume, and then the third sparge would be very low volume. And then what they would actually do is they would combine each of those brews to meet the gravity of the beer they wanted. And oftentimes at the pubs, they kind of went through that, did that same process kind of at the pub.
Yeah.
They'd have the 3 different beers on tap, and they would sometimes blend them in the glass.
Yeah.
And they would
Oh,
call
nice.
that, I think the term is 3 threads.
3 threads.
Because they would blend in 3 different style beers into your
Like a
glass.
beer cocktail.
This beer, the porter, was brewed just to produce this beer.
Okay.
And so that was kind of a new innovation.
That's the name game that we usually play when we have a new
Never
beer,
release a new beer.
which is different every single time. Yeah, that's pretty much us. Thanks for hanging out with us during these
Yeah.
live streams. It's been really fun to kind of just sit and chat and to have a beer at the end of a workday. It's kind of nice. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Yep.
Hope you have a wonderful evening.
And we'll chat again soon.
Bye.
Bye.